Hello everyone and welcome to another FNAF 2 movie video. Today is the one you've been waiting for. Every Easter egg, reference and other things you may have missed in the FNAF 2 movie. This video will obviously have spoilers, so if you still haven't seen the movie, click off this video now. Consider that as your warning. Also, this video will act as a successor to our previous Easter egg and reference video for the first FNAF movie. So, just like we did 2 years ago, I'm going to have a timer on screen so we can see how long we take to do this. Our previous record was 8 minutes and 15 seconds for reference. Finally, before I begin, I do have some important information regarding the future of this channel at the end of this video, so please do stick around for that. And without further ado, let's begin. Our first reference is pretty much bang on at the start of the movie. The film opens with Matthew Lillard playing William Afton, welcoming children back to Freddy's and pressing a big Showtime button, a reference to FNAF Help Wanted's Lost Showtime feature. Right after, we hear the Toreador March playing, referencing the power outage sequence of FNAF 1. Afton says stick around for a great big surprise at the end, referencing the Springtrap post-credits scene, right before we hear a bunch of children yelling. However, this yelling is also a reference, as it's the exact same audio that plays during the 6 AM sequence in the first few games. In the location itself, we get a few references: the carousel, Kids Cove, and a few plushies made from various different companies such as Good Stuff and Funko. The river ride is a reference to Foxy's log ride in FNAF Help Wanted 2 also. There are some references on some arcade machines. There's a reference to Freddy and Friends on Tour, FNAF World, Pop Goes Arcade, and also Five Nights at Candy's 3. The blue cup containing Charlotte's Freddy Faz Cola is a reference to the blue cup on the desk in the FNAF 2 office. And the entire opening sequence of Charlie's death is a reference of Henry's FNAF 6 ending speech, where he talks about being shut out and being lifted into arms. Although here, Charlie was shut out metaphorically by the parents, and was lifted into the arms of the puppet as she dies. However, this is also a reference to the Save Him minigame, where Charlie dies saving him, as in the boy. There's also a Balloon Boy reference here on Mr. Bergs' notepad. The initials BB, as we all know in the games, are for Balloon Boy. We also see the same drawing from the end of the first movie that Mike and Abby seem to have taken into their new house. The name of the ghost hunting show, Spectral Scoopers, is a reference to the Scooper from FNAF's sister location. At the FNAF 1 location, the plushie that Mike picks up plays the very iconic Har 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 beatbox meme by Abdul Sissi. Michael Afton's line, where he says, "Kids can be so heartless," is a reference to Mangle's tagline in FNAF World, which says, "Kids can be so cruel." Lisa hears the same music box song, My Grandfather's Clock, from the Puppet's music box in the games. Abby has a picture of the animatronics, Vanessa, Mike and herself on the wall, and in this picture, Mike is wearing the same clothes as Michael Afton in the FNAF 4 minigames. Vanessa's box, whilst it sounds familiar, is not a reference to the extra tuner song Jackie's Box, but rather the infamous FNAF 4 box, and the plane that she pulls out of the box is a reference to Garrett's toy plane, which Afton stole from him after killing him and re-gifted to young Vanessa. In the Afton household in Vanessa's dream sequence, we can see a couple of references in family photos. One of them, with young Vanessa wearing a white bunny costume, is a reference to Vanny, and the other is a fact that Vanessa drew the same spring bonnie drawing in the ground that the Golden Freddy kid drew in the first movie. There's also a reference to the multiple classic photos of Henry and William together, shown in this photo here. And, what may be the biggest reference in the film, we get a huge circus baby animatronic. No, this is not CGI either. Jim Henson's actually made a full life-size animatronic for this movie. When Abby mentions to Vanessa about meeting the toy animatronics, she notes that Toy Freddy has fat fingers, this being a reference to the UCN line, where Toy Freddy himself says,
"I have these fat plastic fingers and can't press my buttons."
Speaking of UCN voice lines, we also get one from Charlotte.
"I don't hate you, but you need to stay out of my way."
In the FNAF 2 office, there are 2 sticky notes in the room, one saying "Give gifts, give life," and the other saying "You can't," both referencing 2 different minigames from FNAF 2. Corey had another cameo, which I suppose could be considered as a reference, along with the fact that Toy Chica's beak also comes off in this scene, referencing her beak coming off in the games too. Additionally, the song Corey is listening to is Talking in Your Sleep, which, if you remember, is the same song performed by the classic animatronics in the first movie. During Henry's introductory scene, there's a newspaper with the headline, Afton Robotics, the hidden side, obviously referencing Afton Robotics from the games. When Vanessa explains that the wizards are just used for the spare parts, it may also be a reference to one of Phone Guy's lines in FNAF 2, where he says,
"We just use them for parts now."
And when she explains that there's no doors, Mike comments saying, "What kind of idiot designed this place?" referencing Scott Cawthon. And I think this is even funnier when you realise Scott wrote the script himself, and hence is essentially calling himself an idiot. In the FazFest scene, a character says that Toy Freddy looks like some sort of toy. On the computer in the FNAF 2 office, there's an audio lore button, which is a reference to FNAF 3. When Mike does his computer magic, the words security breach show up in Toy Chica's vision, a clear reference to FNAF security breach. Toy Freddy's location is West Elm Street, which is potentially a reference to the horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street. Shadow Bonnie makes an appearance. And again on the computer screen, there's a section labelled Face Recognition Targets, referencing the fact that in the games, the toy animatronics have facial recognition software. Doug makes a cameo, and references his position in the previous movie as a lawyer. The radio Mike and Vanessa use to contact each other plays the camera flipping sound from the games. The music box Henry gave to Mike earlier on has a little mini Ballora model inside it. Foxy's humming in the We Are FNAF scene is a reference to his humming in the games. The fact that Toy Chica is a Springlock suit is a reference to one of Vanessa's lines in the first movie, where she states that the Springlock designs are in all of the original models, meaning that they would be in all of the toy animatronics as well. In fact, a lot of the movie is a large reference to the Twisted Ones novel, where there are new animatronics killing random people, and it ending with the classic animatronics versus the new set. In the credits, the song It's Been So Long is the same one made by the Living Tombstone 11 years ago. In the mid-credits scene, the scavengers mention a haunted house, obviously referencing Fazbear's Fright. And just a moment later, one of them says that they found one, a real one. This being a reference to Phone Dude's line in FNAF 3 when discussing the fact that they found Springtrap. And finally, we get a very FNAF 6-esque speech from Henry, even beginning with the same
"Leaving Dead Space, 3, 2, 1.
that we get in the games. And that's the end of the movie. There you have it, every single Easter egg, reference and other things you may have missed in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. And it only took us 6 minutes and 35 seconds, even shorter than last time. We'll have to try and beat that record when FNAF 3 comes out in a couple of years. Regarding what I said at the start of this video, about the future of this channel, as some of you may know, I'm in my final year of secondary school now, which means that in about 4 to 5 months, I will have my final exams coming up, the GCSEs. Now, some of you that I know don't take these very seriously, but I do, which means that from January 1st, I will be leaving. I'm currently on Christmas break right now, so during these 2 weeks, I will be speedrunning recording as many videos as I can so I can schedule them to all go up over the time that I'm gone, so at least the channel will be semi-active. I'm thinking probably 2 videos per month should suffice, so I need to record about 12 videos. On January 1st, there will be a full video explaining all of this in depth, including what videos I have recorded and when they will be released, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up now. In any case, I want to thank you for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.